But so, you went from like, New York comic and relatability to like, I feel like a lot of your humor now is in your success and your money and all that. Like that's not an easy, that's a delicate thing. A lot of people will watch what we just did and hate on that. A lot of people will find the humor, but a lot of people will be like,
hate on it. Like I agree. Like I think for me, I try to, in a weird way, like I try to put myself around the angst, and that's a hard thing to do once you've gotten enough money to like remove inconveniences. And I'm not talking about like enough money like that's crazy. Like you make a good amount of money, you can remove inconveniences. Right. Like a reasonable amount.
And you can eat meals. And it's like when you're living in a one bed a studio and eating SpaghettiOs.
All your stories are crazy.
Right.
There's rats in my fucking Cheerio. Like this thing. Those are really interesting. So it's like for me, like when we were living in Miami during the pandemic, like I knew I had to come back because I couldn't write a single joke in Miami.
Because it was too like
happy.
Yeah,
I was just, and nobody bothered me. Nobody bothered me. Like culturally down there, it was like, let's have a good time, let's enjoy our family, and let's party and dance. And it's like, who am I pushing back against?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I need some like purple haired chick with fucking like armpit hair and like fighting and like angry at men for no reason, and then like I get to like wittily take that away from them, and it's like, oh, this is fun. This is what I live for.
Challenge. You need to be challenged.
It's a fun thing. How do I play the like? The I don't want to call it like intellectual warfare, but like how do you just wax poetic about something in just the funniest way,
right?
And just find that fun little nuance that is untrue, that is completely fake,
right?
But it makes sense logically.
Yeah.
And I need a little bit of angst to do that. I think the first joke. Yeah.
Where do you get your angst though? Like, this is also like, so you're asking the comedian, like, how do you write your jokes?
Yeah.
But like but once you're not that active on social, right?
Twitter's just a liability. Yeah. So it's like I'm not going to get canceled for something that did nothing for me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'll get canceled for like a fucking joke I put out, but usually I don't think people get canceled for jokes. They get canceled for like off-color commentary. But like actual stand-up, here's a joke.
Yeah. Well, because that is a joke, or a tweet can be like, he fucking means that shit. He actually thinks that about those people.
It can be however you want.
Right.
You get to it, exactly. But if I have a mic and I'm doing a thing, then it's a little bit harder. But yeah, for me, I think I tend to push back against outrage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that's kind of what it is.
You see it on Twitter?
Yeah, it's,
like in your mentions
like
or
Twitter,
like
just news, in general culture.
I like how I've forgotten about the news.
Yeah. Because the news is Twitter.
Where do you get your cultural news? News.
But the news is Twitter. But it's but like. I don't know. The news is Twitter, and now Twitter is the news. Like the news outlets
meaning the news outlets are
fucking,
on Twitter.
Yeah. Right.
So like I'm going to hear about the trending stories.
But they're also so in somebody's pocket or skewed.
Yeah, of course.
There's nothing.
Everything's skewed, but I'm more looking at like what everybody is so reactive to, and then I want to kind of my knee-jerk intuition is to have the opposite reaction.
Right.
So like exactly.
But so a lot of people look at that.
We were talking about this before. Like this is how men hang out. I don't know. Like like if you're with your boys and you're on like a bus to a game or something like that. Like nobody is saying the right thing, right? Like that's not funny.
That's
There's
not enjoyable.
Nothing funny about like you're finding like which teacher you would have sex with that is the biggest, grossest teacher, right? And you're going, I'm going to say this thing. Or if there's something crazy happening in the news, you're having a wild take that's wrong about it. It's not right, and everybody knows you're just trying to make them laugh. And that is in a lot of ways stand-up comedy. I know there are comics out there that are very like political and that kind of stuff, and it's just like. You don't
some people call what you just described contrarian and like
to
the point, right?
Yeah,
and it has a negative connotation, but it's like that's what we're doing.
This is the people who don't understand humor. This chalk it up to.
You're just saying that like to have a take, and it's like that's kind of the fucking game here, man.
We call it contrarian because we want to remove ourselves from what we like often feel,
right?
And our feelings are wrong. Take my wife, please, is the oldest joke ever.
Right.
That's saying get rid of my wife.
Right.
You have a wife, or you had one.
Right.
You got rid of it. It comes from a real place. Right. I have a wife that sometimes your wife annoys you.
You want to get fucking rid of.
Like, take her, please. Yeah. But you don't actually want that. You're not actually going to do that. But you had a moment where you thought about something that was wild.
And it makes other people laugh
because they've also had that moment.
Yes. It's the most. The funniest thing, when we started Barstool, I'm like 25. And every blog we wrote, the comment section was this crew of like 40-year-old guys. This is back when a comment section actually had some value and it wasn't just bullshit. It was like you knew their names, you knew their like stories, and every one of them to a man was like, I just fucking hate my wife so much. And I'm 25 and I'm reading it and it killed me. Every comment, they're all hack jokes, but it's just so funny to me that like lemmings, guys, we all just walk off of the fucking. We just walked the plank, and we're like, no, my girl's different, and my marriage is gonna be different, and then we're like, nope, it wasn't.
And I believe that right now.